I was just reading here on some of the theology of sports.
Oh, really? A
Yeah.
website?
No, it's an article.
Okay.
It's called The Stewardship of Sports Viewing.
Stewardship of sports viewing?
Yes.
Which means what?
Well, in other words, how to view sports and not get overly into it so much that it begins to determine your life. I like this guy's final statement. This is a guy by the name of Jeff Monroe, and he says, when it comes to stewardship of sports viewing, I think Jesus would say that the exhilaration that we feel watching a sporting event is a foretaste of the abundant life that he promised. There are beautiful moments in sports when we get glimpses of the grandeur and majesty of heaven. I imagine I hear Jesus saying, enjoy those moments, but remember, it's only a game.
Well, that's pretty good.
Well, it is. It is. I think, I have always had a very complicated relationship with sports because ever since I was a little kid, there was always, in sports, there was winners and losers.
Right.
And
that's the way the world is.
Well, I know, but the problem with it is that I have never had a body for sports. And so for
well,
me,
this is evident.
No, yeah, never. I mean,
I'm so funny.
Just
kidding.
But I used to be a little skinny little kid, and so I was always on the losing side. And so for me, the whole notion of sports always meant winners and losers.
Right.
And it.
So you like the idea of everybody gets an award?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. But I guess it was the criteria, because it was the criteria that of physical prowess that I had no aptitude for. Ever since I
did basketball, football, basketball, and track and field, shot put and discus when I was in middle school and high school.
Now, you want to know what's
and basketball.
What I find interesting in
middle school and ninth grade.
I find interesting in my own life, and that is when I discovered my mind. When I discovered my mind and my ability.
You discovered your mind. This is, of course, after you lost your mind.
No. I discovered. You're so
Walked
funny.
in that.
When I discovered my mind, meaning in sports, you have physical contests over a particular issue,
right,
it's ball or something like that.
Right,
okay.
Moving the ball on the football field.
Okay. When I discovered my intellect, and I'm not saying I'm brilliant or anything, but I have a decent mind. And when I discovered that, I had to be careful not to use my intellect.
Not to use your intellect?
Not to use it the way that sports is used.
You mean in competition or a combative way?
In combat. So that instead of seeking the truth, what you do is you seek to win the argument.
Right.
Not seeking the truth.
Right. Doesn't matter the truth. It matters if you win the discussion.
And it's interesting because in a debate, the way they teach you is to win the argument regardless of whether you have the truth or not.
Well, because you're supposed to be able to run both sides of the issue.
That's right.
And win either way, especially in high school.
It's very interesting because what you're learning then is to win the game.
Right.
Which is the
not
excitement.
To seek the truth, not to find the truth.
That's the excitement of the sport. But you can't
so
translate that. You have to be careful not to translate that into life, to where what matters is winning. You have to transfer.
What was Charlie Sheen's winning? What are you doing now? Winning. Remember that a couple years ago? That was a popular culture thing. So anyway.
Yeah, but that's that's something that I think that I still struggle with is the issue of transferring the ethics of sports into real life. When you transfer the ethics of sports to real life, is you do what you have to do to win.
Right, but you've got referees on the field or on the court.
Yeah.
You've got people who determine if something is done
I don't
according to the rules or not.
I don't disagree, but notice in a sport conflict, there is no truth. There's no truth. That's right. There's no truth. In other words, it's almost relativism. Either side can win because there is no objective truth. Therefore, winning is the important point.
Right.
And you can't transfer that to life, because if you transfer that to life, then what you're saying is if you have two
morals go down the tubes as long as I win and get what I want.
Yeah.
Right. No, you've got to. Yes, that's true. There is no moral issue in.
It may teach you. Sports may teach you how to play in a team and stuff like that, but you have to be careful not to transfer the relativism of sports into life.
Well, but you're still in sports. You're still following rules. You can't cheat. If you do, you get kicked out of the game. I mean, there's still.
But the rules are about the conflict, not.
No, the rules are about the conduct. How you wage your war. How you do the.
I agree
battle.
with you. The conduct of the conflict.
Right.
Okay. It's not about either side
truth.
Having any moral superiority to the other.
No. Morals have nothing to do with that aspect of it.
I know.
Right.
I know.
Okay.
Which that's what I'm saying. You have to be careful not to
transfer that to the
into business or stuff like that.
Right.
I have to make money off of you, regardless. If you're a sucker enough for me to play you, then you lost your money. I won.
Right.
And I don't know that you can do that as a religious person.
No.
You can't.
No. Because there's too many other factors that have to be involved. Are you getting your money legally, morally, ethically? Are you abusing your workers? I mean, there's a whole bunch of issues that are not.
My position.
Well,
is
you abuse the player if you're having them go get a shot and then get back on the field.
But see, in sports, the conflict is amoral. The actual conflict
is not good against evil.
It's not good against evil. It's amoral.
Right.
It has no moral quality to it. So it doesn't make any difference who wins, and the winning is decided.
Don't say that to the fans. There's always a
I know. But so then what you're dealing with is you can't. I'm just saying, be careful how we use sports to say it's got good lessons to teach kids, because there are moments in which you're going to have to teach your kids that either side winning is not the issue. It's who ought to win.
Yes, it's not who wins, but how you play the game.
Well, in life, it is who wins, because you play the game. If the evil side plays the game better, that's not a good thing that they won.
Right, but you still teach the lesson to the kids that it's how you play the game that counts.
See, is it?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. I'm not sure that families are doing a good job of that, but it's still supposed to be.
In the, quote, game of life, is it how you play the game that counts, or whether you're on the right side?
Both.
I don't disagree.
I can be on the right side,
but in sports,
and then the way in which I compete on the right side is by sabotage and lying and whatever else.
But in sports, there is no right side.
No.
That's
By the way, you know what that renders all sports into?
What?
Exactly what it is. Entertainment. That's all it is.